Welcome back to 7-Minute Options. I want to talk a little bit about why I'm not particularly happy with my portfolio and what are some of the changes I'm going to be making over the next couple of months. But one of the first things is I try to have a balanced portfolio that is delta neutral. That's what I mean by balanced. That's an overused word, but delta neutral, right? In other words, the entire portfolio here is ranked according to how each position correlates to SPY, right? And so you can see here every single position here that I have open. I got about 20 positions open. Every symbol has a statistical correlation with SPY. That's the beta. So if something is positively correlated, it has a positive beta value. That means it moves in the same direction as SPY. If it's negative, it moves against SPY, moves in the opposite direction. And so the idea here is that if you have a bunch of positions that are positively correlated and a bunch of positions that are negatively correlated, then you don't care if SPY moves up or down, right? If SPY moves up, then some of your positively correlated positions start making more money and some of your negatively correlated ones start losing money and vice versa. And so you don't really care if SPY goes up a little bit today or goes down a little bit today because you are only focused on your theta, right? That is time premium and collecting time premium day after day. And if you are delta neutral, it means that your overall portfolio is not going to have large daily swings, right? And so that's why it's good to have a delta neutral portfolio. Right now, I don't have a delta neutral portfolio. I'm 38 positive deltas, which means mathematically, if SPY goes up by $1, my portfolio goes up by $38. And it's interesting to note why that is, right? It's not because I picked particularly bad underlyings, although some are questionable. I'll give you that, granted. It's because the type of positions I opened in them, right? Some of the positions I opened they weren't neutral positions. They were highly delta positive or highly delta negative. And it's okay to open a highly delta positive position, but you should open like a delta negative position somewhere else in a different underlying or the same underlying to make the whole thing kind of balance out. And so if I sort by the delta weights of the position, and right now this is weighted against the SPY, you'll see that the negative one is the ones that are pulling down my portfolio are IPOE, IPOD, and JPM. IPOE and IPOD, these are highly directional positions in two SPACs, right? So IPOE is gonna merge with SoFi at one point, and what I did here is I sold a put spread to finance a call spread, extremely one directional, right? So as long as this thing goes up, I make money on the put spread and I make money on the call spread because it's a debit call spread and it's a credit put spread, so it's very highly directional. So look at the theta here, not a lot of theta here because it's a directional bet. I need IPOE to move positively, and IPOE has a very strong correlation with beta. It hasn't been around a long time, so the beta number is a bit wonky. I don't particularly believe that it's minus 11. What that means is if SPY moves up by $1, IPOE moves down by $11. That's completely meaningless, but it is kind of throwing off the delta neutral numbers a little bit. So even with that minus 42, I'm still 36 overall, which means I'm highly positive deltas in most of my positions. That's what we see here is that most of my positions are positive. Another minus 13 is IPOD. What I did here is I sold 3 credit put spreads, right? 12 and a half put, 10 put. I sold 3 of those. So this is again highly it's highly directional. I need IPOD to move up here. But for some reason, this is also correlated negatively against the SPY. So again, minus 2.91 is not terribly bad. If SPY moves up 1, IPOD is supposed to move down 3. But like, because I have 3 of these put spreads open, and the spread tends to magnify these anyway. So that's where the negative delta comes from mostly. JPM is an interesting one because JPM is an iron condor. So how can iron condor be that negative? And that's because you can see my short strike is at the 165 on the call side and JPM is at 164. So if I zoom in, this iron condor, right now my 165 short call is being tested. So right now, even though JPM is positively correlated with SPY, this position has a highly negative correlation, which means as SPY goes up and JPM goes up, this position is going to start losing me money and fast. And so I need JPM to come down, right? And so yeah, this is true. This position is genuinely minus 10 weighted deltas at the moment, because if JPM goes higher or SPY goes higher, this position is going to start losing me lots of money. So yeah, JPM is positively correlated with SPY, but right now it's a minus 10. When this iron condor was put on, it was 0, right? This was a neutral position. I went 20 deltas in either direction from when I sold it. So when I sold it, this had a net overall impact of 0 weighted deltas, because if it moved up a little bit, moved down a little bit, if the call credit spread and the put credit spread kind of offset each other. But right now, it's all in the call credit spread. The put credit spread is way too far out of the money right now, so that's not really going to have an impact on this. It's all in the call credit spread, because that's the side that's being tested, and that one is negative 10. So I could close this out and take it off, but if I close it out, I take off the minus 10, and all of a sudden I would go to 47, which would push me away from 0. Closing these positions would also push me further away from 0. I got to put on some negative positions, or I got to put on some, or I got to take off some of the positive ones. So let's take a look at Clover. Clover here is 35 positive deltas. And if I were to close this position, I would lose 57. I would record a $57 loss. I collected $198 in credit. It's now trading for $255. I'm probably going to roll this next week, right? Because next week, when we come back on Tuesday, it'll be like 17, 18 days left to expiration. I can collect only $20 by moving it into July. Do I want to collect $20 in credit and hold a losing position? You know what? I'm going to sell it and take off the $35 positive deltas there. Let's see if I can do that. Okay, see if anybody wants to pay me $255 for this. I'll take the loss. I'll take the hit. And of course, nobody does. Gonna increase this a bit to say 257. All right, maybe not. Okay, replace the order. Let's go to 250. Oh, it did at 257. Fantastic. So now, if you look at my positions, Clover is gone, and my portfolio is at 2 deltas, which is like really close to 0. I'm super happy now. So this is good. This is a balanced portfolio. In theory, if SPY goes up a little bit or SPY goes down a little bit, it shouldn't affect my overall portfolio, and I can focus on collecting thetas. Again, I want to get a lot more theta for my portfolio, so I have a lot of buying power ready to open up some iron condors next week, which I will do because we'll be in that nice 40 to 45 day expiration window for the July expirations. So that's when I'm going to use up a couple $1,000s of my buying power there. What kind of worries me here is that it's still somewhat positive, even though it's 0. Like deep down inside, I know that these highly negative positions in IPOE and IPOD, I don't really believe they're actually minus 40, minus 13. I feel like IPOE goes up when SPY goes up and goes down when SPY goes down. So I think this is just a mathematical quirk because there isn't a whole lot of data from IPOE. I think IPOE has only been around, for a few months. Okay, yeah, there you go. It started trading sometime around December of last year, so they don't even have a full year of data on IPOE yet. So if this beta number changes, that's going to throw things out of whack. But as far as theory, okay, now my portfolio is very close to a balanced portfolio. It is a balanced portfolio for all intents and purposes. And so yeah, that's it in a nutshell. Thanks very much.